There it is. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Real Time Wisdom Show with Lainie and Joanna. It's so good to be here. Joanna and Lainie, what's the difference, right? We're a pair. We're a pair. So,
Welcome.
how is everyone doing? Tonight's show is really interesting, and it's something that is very close to Lainie and I's heart since we deal with this all the time. And that is being an empath and how to navigate through this time where the world seems to be very challenging, upside down and inside out, and we don't know which end is up. And as empaths, we really feel all of that energy within ourselves, and it can be quite exhausting. Hi, Tony. Glad you're here.
Joanna, before we start tonight's topic, can I just say that first off, bravo on last week's show. You and Lori were terrific. And I was, 30,000 feet up in the air on in the airplane, and I was able to catch bits and pieces of it. And I was like, wow, technology, watching her do her thing in an airplane. Here we go. It was really awesome. So I just wanted to give you a nod to last week. I hope everyone enjoyed that. And it's actually perfect, right? To go from psychic development, intuitive development, understanding where we are, who we are, and now we're moving into a topic discussion about being an empath. So it's actually a really nice segue, right?
Oh, absolutely. And Denise is here, and Cheryl and Linda. Hi, ladies. So good to see you. Well, not really seeing you.
Right? We saw them yesterday. Huh?
What's that?
I said some of them we saw yesterday. See you again. It was amazing.
It was such a good class. I mean, I think we could have probably gone another hour with that class, but it was so packed full for 3 hours. Hey, Susan, my sissy is in the house.
Oh, cool. Hey, sissy. Yeah, I, if it didn't show, I think we all know, I'm so passionate about seeing all these connections. Like, I love connecting the dots. But when I was in college, I got the highest grade in my philosophy and logic, and I was able to like track every formula. Okay, if this plus this plus this equals that. So I love formulas. I love seeing the end result and seeing all those aha moments with our deck. I think I'm most blown away by the high priestess in the pomegranates. Like, to me, like, wow, right? So anyways, we're going to do that again in March. If you missed it, sign up. But we'll set a date because we got to do that one again because, tarot is ancient, food is ancient in the way they move together. And then, also reading cards and reading whatever type of cards really involves your intuitive skills. And so here we are talking about the aspects of being an empath. So is everybody ready, or is there anybody? A great class yesterday. Thanks, Tony. Oh, thanks, Denise. It was remarkable. It was one of our favorites. And we have a lot.
It was a good one. And guys, so just if you could just I think you're all empaths here, but does anybody here that's listening right now, can you just say if you don't feel like you're an empath at all? Because then we can just assume the rest of you are. If there is, I can't see anybody here. Karen, Tony, Denise, Susan, Linda, Cheryl, all of you are empaths. But
I think after we go over the 10 traits, they're going to be able to answer that even better.
Yes. So let's start. Let's dive right in, and then we're going to make our announcements afterwards because we do have some great announcements for you.
Yeah. I did put a few on there, some links, so keep note of that. But what we felt it was important to talk about the empath, being empathic, is because we are going through what we said troubled times, right? We know this, a lot of chaos. We have an election coming up, And I've now traveled in the last week. I've seen different circumstances, different perspectives, and what's happening in Florida is totally different than what's happening in New Mexico. And so I wanted to, find a way that we can connect with you. Sorry, it's a little loud. So anyways, what I wanted to do is talk about for a minute, open up with a quote from Dr. Judith Orloff. If you don't know who Dr. Judith Orloff, and you are interested in knowing if you are an empath or how to navigate being an empath in the world, that is her life's work. She is a renowned psychiatrist out of UCLA, and she's good friends with Deepak Chopra. And I had the honor of interviewing her on my Zeta Global radio show a few years back. And so in the links here, you'll see it says radio show link. I encourage you to go back and listen to that link because she talks a lot and she's got lots of books, classes. But I wanted to start off with a quote because I think that would set the tone, if that works for you, Joanna, and for everyone to understand, because this is a really important subject, because people who don't know that the energy that they are feeling and dealing with to an extreme level, to the point where people can get very, very depressed or have anxiety and find out it's not even them, but they're taking on this energy of the world or someone else. This is really important, especially as a reader. When we're taking on the energies of a client, we got to learn how to clear that if that's what is happening. But let me read this to you. Let me just read you this one paragraph from Dr. Judith Orloff. Empaths and sensitive people have an open heart. Right? That's what we are, all of us who are readers and healers. They don't have the same emotional guard up that many others do. They feel people's pain, both loved ones and strangers, and instinctively, they want to take it away from them. I don't know about you, but I really resonate with that. Right now, we are all going through an extremely challenging time, and many of my empath patients are suffering tremendously from the massive suffering and fear that is manifesting in the world. This makes them and all sensitive people particularly vulnerable to overwhelm, exhaustion, and anxiety, especially when many of them have been taught that being compassionate means it's their job to remove other people's pain. Oof.
Yes.
Oofa.
Oofas, right. And that's what happens with us empaths, is that we want to heal the world because we feel the world's pain. You know, if it makes us very heart-centered and empathetic, but it also can be something that if we don't know how to manage that kind of energy, it can deplete us big time, where we feel even paralyzed and incapable of doing anything for ourselves. So tonight, there is 10 different things, descriptions of an empath.
Traits, really. Yeah, they're traits.
That we are going to go over. And then we're going to go over some of the gifts, but mainly how to manage that energy, because it can get really, really sticky, you know? And I call it sticky energy because that's the energy that weighs our own auric field down. It weighs our energetic levels down, and it just can be overwhelming to all of us. So would you like to start?
Yeah, I think that's important. And by the way, if you have any questions throughout this, please ask us. Joanna's taught many classes on this subject matter. I've done a lot of work with my clients, particularly when they're learning to be readers and healers themselves, and they are not understanding that what is on them can actually be something else. Like when you're that sensitive, you can come home so depressed. It's almost like that feeling we talk about when you walk into a room and you're like, okay, something's not right. But what are you doing when you know something's right? Like, what are the steps that you're taking to protect yourself? So we're first going to see, are you an empath? And I think all of you are, as Joanna had said, because most people who are compassionate about wanting to help people are healers, and most of you here are doing that. But then after we talk about the 10 traits tonight, and believe me, this is a very vast subject. We can teach in May, if this is interest of you. We're only going to cover so much ground in this hour together, or and because we want to get some readings in for you. And we will able to tell you as well what is happening emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, and what sensitivities are coming up. But we are going to also not only tell you the 10 traits of an empath, but then we're going to tell you in our world, the Food Healing Oracle deck world, what you can do. So we're going to give you some best tips, because I can almost guarantee that no one is walking away scot-free if you're a compassionate sensitive. I can almost guarantee that. Wouldn't you say? Even someone who's been walking this and knows everything can immediately see something scrolling down Facebook and then like, that's it, I'm shattered.
That's right. That's right. And it can be like that. We can see something on Facebook. We have to be careful about what we watch on television. You know, I know for me, taking it to a personal level, I can't watch horror films. I feel like it's, you know, like I feel it viscerally in my body if I'm watching somebody get killed. I just can't do it. I physically can't do it. So,
and then when you employ all the different clairs, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, and you can smell things, see things, it's even harder. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through these 10, and I want you to take notes, and I want you to even put into the comment section, how many out of 10 are you? That's way you are going to know how much of an empath or a sensitive that you are on this planet. My guess is that all of us need to buckle up and strengthen our core so we can do the work that we're doing, especially when things are so polarized, you know, with politics and masks and everything going on. There's a lot of polarization and absolute confusion for empaths. So why don't we start with number 1? You want to do that, and I'll do 2, and we'll just switch off?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
So starting off with number 1, traits of an empath. Empaths are highly sensitive, naturally giving, spiritually open, and good listeners. If you want heart, empaths have it. Through thick and thin, they're there for you, world-class nurturers, but they can easily have their feelings hurt. Empaths are often told that they are too sensitive and need to toughen up. Boy, do I remember that as a kid, Lainie. You know, because I would cry. I would watch Lassie and Shirley Temple on TV. Well, that's really aging me, and just sob. And my father would say, "You need to toughen up. You know, you need to just like not
all the time." I would hear that. Oh, you're a water sign. You're so emotional. You're so hypersensitive. You know, I would hear that all the time. Like if oh, you're reading into it too much. I'm like, no, I'm feeling into it. I'm feeling what is going on. So, okay, are you highly sensitive? That's number 1. Check it off. Number 2, empaths absorb other people's emotions. Okay, well, we just talked about that. We empaths are highly attuned to other people's moods. And that could be good or bad, right? When we feed off each other's energy, when you're feeling somebody, feeling the love, feeling the excitement, you want more to be around that. And then sometimes if you're feeling your spouse's or your children's sadness or depression, you want to take that on because you want to take that away from them. So what happens is if we don't have a clear discipline and how to protect their feelings and our feelings, we are absorbing it and suddenly we are sad or depressed. Or on the flip side, we could be absorbing that great energy. But most of the time, it's taking on and absorbing it as if we were the one who had the disorder or lost the job or had the breakup. It's almost like the visceral that we talk about. So if you are absorbing other people's emotions and you're highly sensitive, mark those down. You're 2. You're 2 out of 10 so far.
Okay. And number 3, are you an introvert? Do you need your alone time? You can get overwhelmed in crowds, right? Because it's too much energy. And that can really, really lead you to feeling that overwhelm or that heart palpitations, even anxiety if you're in a crowd with too many people. I cannot walk into Walmart. I have a really hard time. I have to put the shield up and area of protection. But even if you are an extrovert and you're an empath, you will probably be the first one that leaves the party, right? Because you won't be able to stay in that much energy for too long of a time. If you are an empath, extrovert or introvert, you will always be either the first or second to leave, or you'll want to, right? That's
So mark
number
that
3.
down. That was number 3. Are you an introvert? I consider myself very much an extrovert, but I'm also very introverted. And my husband and I, although we're like out there and gregarious and how we are, we also are very quiet and we're very reserved, and we do keep multiple layers of protection around us. He doesn't like to go to crowds. He doesn't like to go to events. So we are very mindful of crowds in events. This is obviously pre-COVID, but even getting on big Zoom calls and stuff like that. So think about that. If that's why I thought, oh, Denise writes, that's why I thought I was the hermit card yesterday.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, so think about that. That's number 3. Let's talk about, some of these are so obvious, you're these, but just in case you needed to know and have a checklist, am I an empath? Or what level am I empath? I'm 4 out of 10, or I'm 10 out of 10. Number 4, empaths are highly intuitive. Yes, we know that. We are sensitive, but we're not intuitive enough where we don't know if it's our energies. Most of the time we do. But then right, number 2 was absorbing other people's emotions. Sometimes we don't realize until it's too late that suddenly it's almost psychosomatic. We're not feeling well because they had the flu or they had a cough. Suddenly we are, and it's not even ours. So we're highly intuitive. We experience the world through intuition, okay? That means that we lead with our intuitive gut, and we lead that first instead of mind and mentalizing. We're pulling in, we're opening up our third eye if we're going to be in the mind, and we are absolutely intuiting, that's a word, everything around that. But this is where we can get in trouble with being energy vampires. And that's, we could talk about that after the traits. What is an energy vampire? But if you're highly intuitive and you know it, you know things, someone's going to call, most readers are, that's number 4. Okay, number 5.
And number 5, you need alone time. You need to recharge those batteries, because after being around people, or, for me as a healer, I might have 4 or 5 clients in a day. I really need to retreat. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to see anybody. I need to recharge those batteries. Same. Or else I'm in trouble the next day. If I have 3 or 4 days where I haven't given myself the space and time to recharge and process, I can really put myself in a state where that I don't want to be. So, I always look for recharging. There's other things that we can do, but we're going to get to those tips a little later. So
I like that Denise said that about need alone time, and she talked about the hermit card. I believe all empaths, we must have that time, that refill time, that refuel, that reboot, that take clear it all out. Must do it.
It's essential. It's essential, especially if we want to still be of service to others. First, we must be to service to ourselves. That old maxim that says, put your own oxygen mask on first, that holds very true for empaths.
Okay, so the next one, I don't know if you're all going to like it or if you're going to own up to it, but here it goes. Empaths can get very overwhelmed in intimate relationships because empaths can be codependent, okay? That is, not everyone says that, but empaths can have trouble with relationships because of this whole sensitivity, needing alone time, but also want to take on and fix and hone in on exactly what is going on with your partner. There's a lot of identity, you losing your identity. There's a lot with relationships, whether it's a partner, whether a business partner, whether it's a love partner. Relationships sometimes can be very challenging for empaths, and if you feel that way, I don't know what Jeanette's saying, but if you feel that way, let us know. But this is a characteristic. Any thoughts on that, Joanna?
Well, yeah, there's those that seem to be absorbed by the relationship. They lose who they are. They no longer have that boundary of themselves. They don't feel like they're autonomous, right, within themselves. So they lose their own sovereignty because everything has to be for that partner. And this happens a lot in relationships.
Codependency. You see that a lot. It's like you want to give. You want to fix. You want to be so compassionate, but then you lose sight of self-care. Okay, so keep in mind, if that's you, that's number 6. Now we can get back to what an energy vampire. Take it away.
So, we all know those energy vampires in our life, right? We all have them. Whenever we're around someone and we feel drained afterwards, or someone is just venting on us or throwing up their emotions on us, if we're not protecting ourselves and keeping ourselves grounded in that moment, then we can get in a bad mood. We can be angry. We can take on their fear, their anger, their stress, everything, if we're not careful and we don't recognize that they might not be an energy vampire on purpose. Most people don't even realize that they're doing that. But, I always call they're sucking on me. They're an energy vampire just sucks your energy, where after you leave that person, you're totally flattened. You're totally exhausted. You've lost your joy. You've lost everything. So, vampires show up as these archetypes: the victim, the chronic talker, the drama queen. You look at those people that are doing that, and everybody has those ups and downs in their lives. An energy vampire is one that usually never checks in with themselves. They just kind of dump on you. They walk away feeling great. You walk away feeling like you've been hit by a Mack truck,
Or it's the person who calls and doesn't say, "Hi, do you have a minute?" or "Do you have a second to talk?" They're just like, "Hi." And you're like, wow, I didn't even know this is like assault on my energy field. I'm not ready for this. Can we reschedule?
That's
right? People just don't even say like, "Hey, do you have a minute? Is this a good time? Here's what's going on."
Right.
So keep an eye on those. If you're sensitive to that, mark that down, right? Number 7, that was. Okay.
Yeah, that was number 7.
8, my favorite. Okay, so y'all know I'm a nature lover, right? So I always about the elements, and wrote, the nature track, which I highly encourage you on our first CD. So empaths become replenished in nature. Is that a surprise? No, because we are connecting back into source. We're connecting back into the mother. We're putting our feet in the ground and letting that core energy from the mother come up. We're opening up our energetic crown to let Father Sky nourish us with energy from above. We are replenished by the oceans. We are replenished by the greenery of nature. Okay, if this is something that resonates with you, you are definitely an empath, right? This is number 8 out of 10. But nature is empathic, right? Mother Nature, right? Our deck is intuitively nature driven, and nature knows how to take care of things in perfect natural ways, like changing of seasons, allowing things to grow in perfect ways. So someone who's an empath is absolutely attuned to nature. All right.
Okay. Yes, empaths. I just want to add to that. Empaths are notorious for being tree huggers. They love to hug trees, pick flowers, dig in the dirt, because they're actually feeling Mother Earth, right? They're feeling that energy. So that was number 8. Yeah, absolutely. So number 9, highly tuned senses. Noises are too loud, right? Smells are too potent. Excessive talking, you almost want to go, okay, I got the point, enough, you just want to be able to turn everything off. So if you're feeling highly sensitized to the environment around you, I remember, when my kids were little and my husband was alive, they would put the football games on at high, the volume was so loud, there was hardly a place that I could go to escape. I couldn't get into football, the way some people could, because it was just too much. It was too much noise, too much action, too much yelling. I always felt like there was something deficient in me until I learned about the empaths and that I was one and I couldn't absorb all of that, right? And feel good.
I've got a quick story regarding that, and I was taking the course for my advanced food healing certification, and there was a woman behind me chomping on potato chips, and it seemed like every chomp got louder, and I was starting to like lose my mind, and I was looking over at Lucille, and I was like, I don't want to move my seat. I'm in the, we really love where we're sitting, and she's completely distracting. I'm hearing him, but I'm hearing her chomping through these potato chips, and it felt like it just kept getting louder and louder. And she's like, "It's not that loud." I'm like, "Oh, it's loud." I felt like it was a Seinfeld episode. I'm like, "Oh, it's loud." I felt like I was Kramer, and then somebody sent me that there's actually a condition or there's a sensitivity, but I'm like, no, I'm just empathic. So seeing this on the list of highly tuned senses, I'm sensitive to noises, smells, all that. I guess I'm highly sensitive to a lot of things, but chomping on people chewing, it's really a thing for me, and there's actually a disorder about it, I heard. Anyways,
there is.
I think she saw me get a little uneasy in my chair, and at some point she must have realized it. But
I used to drive myself crazy because my husband swallowed his coffee really loud. To me, he was just swallowing his coffee, but to me, it was like the biggest noise in the room. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Someone like with a straw. All right, so that's 9. Number 10.
Number 10. Okay, empaths. And to me, this is the one that has gotten me in the most trouble in my life, right? Empaths are very big-hearted. And as a healer and an empath, wanted to heal the world, right? I thought it was my job, right? However, when you see people who are suffering, you want to go help them. To heal that kind of to heal that in ourselves, we have to really, really be mindful of those boundaries, right? So we want to reach out. We want to take on their pain, especially if it's one of our children or our husbands or our siblings.
Even if it's not, if you see a mother reprimanding or scolding a child in a grocery store, I feel for that little child. Like, she must be so embarrassed. Like, I take that on, there's so many things. It's like you get distraught.
So you're the one feeling upset when they're moving on and they just end up being fine. So it's like finding out what I have come to realize as a healer is I'm not an ambulance chaser, right? I don't have to go and fix everybody's pain. There is a time that people come to me and they want what I have to offer, and that's one thing. But you just can't. I've learned that I just can't go and just heal the world. That's not my place. Everybody has their own path, right?
Look at Tony. Thank you.
Look at Tony. I just saw
Misophonia. When noises bother you, Michael suffers from this. Okay, well, I don't ever stake claim to certain things because I don't believe in the energies, but I can relate to the misophonia. All right, so let's see. We got 6 out of 10s from Linda. We got a 10 out of 10 from Melissa. We got a 9 out of 10 from Cheryl. Okay, so this was very helpful. That's great to know. I think all of us have varying degrees of it. I bet some of you are like, I don't know about the introvert thing, but that's a real thing too. 10 out of 10 here, says Melissa. So, okay, good. So now that you know that you are over 5, which is over half, regardless of Jeanette, okay, good, 8 to 9. So all of you are empaths. Well, we figured you are because a lot of you became certified readers and very good ones and are able to be intuitive and empathic and sensitive. That's what we need to be when we're successful to have a reading practice and energy healing practice to help our clients. So now let's take what we know being empaths, and then how can we, we're just going to give you a few. Like I said, this is a huge topic. We can have a whole workshop for hours on this and go into very big details of these 10. and then go into some works and beliefs and all sorts of things Joanna and I can do. So if that's something you want to do, let us know if that's a future class. But right now, we want to just give you a few ideas because we want to make sure we have some time for reading. We want to do some EMPS wellness around this in you guys, and to see where you're at in your empathic state and how we can tune in and support you. So how can the Food Healing Oracle deck help you as an empath navigate these troubled times, these troubled waters? What are some of the things we in our little family, big family, right? I posted today, got Joanna, Australia, Denmark, Canada. Decks are going everywhere.
Amazing. Woo! I know. The deck is traveling. The deck is definitely traveling all over.
All right. So how can Food Healing Oracle deck as empaths, what can we do? What are a few things that we can do to help our empathic, community?
Are you asking me?
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I can start. How about this? How about I'll start with one? I wrote a few things down. Well, okay. First off, check in with your EMPS wellness, right?
Yeah,
pull cards.
Absolutely.
Do that 4-card craving. What is your body craving? I'm feeling sensitive today. I'm feeling my intuition is like way out. I'm tuning into like the people a mile away and everyone in this room. Pull cards. Is this mine, or is this energy mine? That is really important. These cards are so spot on. They're not in the future unless you program that. Right now, they're saying right now, real-time wisdom, what is the EMPS wellness around me? And it will tell you, are you taking something on? Is this mine? Is this not mine? Ask the deck. Pull a 1-card spread. Is this my energy? Wow, I feel really depressed today. Oh my God. This is so, why do I feel terrified? Do the cards. The cards are going to give you everything you need to know. All right.
I just want to say I had my sound healer teacher, as a matter of fact, asked me, I asked her one time, how do I, get rid of these feelings that I'm picking up from other people? Or how do I navigate through this? And she said, will you ask the question, is this mine or someone else's?
Yeah.
And she says, and if you will get the answer, and if it's someone else's, you just ask for help in letting it go. And she says, and if you get the answer that it's yours, you ask for help in letting it go. So I always thought that was really interesting, because we don't need to be carrying those energies around us. And that's how the Food Healing Oracle deck can help. That's how foods can help. You wouldn't believe how many foods affect your mood and are actually cleansers. Think about it. Think about some of the foods in our deck for those of you that have come to our certification classes.
Well, I think about a lot of my client readings, and and that's part of my intuition, just can see it, but has an impact. But there are so many times I was like, they're going on about what they are. This is what's happening to me. I've been doing this forever. I'm like, and you know what? It was your great grandmother on your father's side is what I'm getting. And they're like, what are you talking about? And then we'll pull cards to get a little bit further defined. But it shows right up for me that you have been carrying your own lineage and the legacy, and it's time to stop. So you can go in, especially when you're an empath and you're using these cards. You can ask the cards, is this client? Is this somebody on the client's family side? Where are they picking it up? Is it in the DNA? Is it in the lineage? There have been times where clients somehow made this contractual agreement that they're supposed to be, representing the lineage. Well, that lineage was a very challenging lineage. Why would you want to take that on? And isn't it time to change it? Because it's not obviously working for you. So there's lots of things, but you're right. Foods can affect it. That's why there's foods on our cards. That will help get them out of it, clearing. And I know we've got a million different modalities just between the two of us. And a lot of the people here are listening. They all have many different modalities that they work with. We're going to be doing theta healing extensively when next week, actually, Cheryl Friedman's going to be on here with us, because November 14th, highly recommend. It plays right into what we're talking about today, conquering your cravings and taking control. We're going deep into emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual, and finding, are these patterns, these beliefs, these programs, these old lineages, are these yours or are they somebody else's? We're getting into them and we're getting rid of them. Cheryl and I have an amazing curriculum plan for, so we'll post that here, and she'll be on next week. We'll be talking about it more with her. But November 14th is an astounding, deeply neat, perfect for Impasse to take this class. And we're going to be doing a lot of healing work to get people strengthened, because we could be weak even though we're so strong in our love and compassion, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. The
All
most
right.
important thing about being an empath is not only recognizing where that energy is, whether it's yours or somebody else's, but to protect yourself from taking it on in the first place. And that has to do with grounding. It could include stones, oils, you know, which we're not going to get into right now, but it is something that you can be aware of how to protect yourself. You know, just putting yourself in a nice bubble of light, or doing the shield up with the Teflon egg that I teach in the certification class. You know, these are the things that you do to protect yourself from those feelings. And if worse comes to worse, salt baths. Salt baths, salt baths, salt baths.
All the time. Essential
Take
oil.
those salt baths. That's
Drums,
right.
Sage, right? Sage is in our deck.
Mm-hmm.
How about this? Stop engaging in social media. My husband's off it now. He's never been happier. He says the last month has been like he finally got back to his center. And I put control the scroll, like find your boundaries, control the scroll.
Right.
And I find that I'm on less, and I'm only being very intentional when I do go on, but I can't do the scrolling. God forbid I run into something that has to do with an animal or a child. Like I can't
Yeah.
I can't take it. And then lastly, before we get into some readings, a wonderful way to help you, and I highly encourage it, and I know some of you are going to be joining this wonderful party, is to listen to our meditations that we've been putting out for the Food Healing Oracle deck. They absolutely help you, right? Release. If we're releasing energies that we took on from somebody, listen to the watermelon meditation. You need to transform old beliefs from being codependent, or whatever it is that you're transforming into a higher vibration. Listen to Joanna's asparagus meditation. Acceptance. We have onions out and shadows about to be out. Accept who you are. I'm an empath. I am sensitive, and therefore I need to protect myself in much other ways. Listen to these meditations, and we have several of our certified readers. They're going to be recording some too. Very, very powerful, these meditations. They are geared to help empaths, intuitives, and anybody who's working with our deck. Really want to take these cards and go much deeper into the healing process.
Absolutely. And I just want to mention just briefly that it's not all bad being an empath. The beauty of being an empath is that your heart is huge. You have compassion. You want to help others. You feel that sensitivity towards others' pain. We need more of that in the world. We need people to be sensitive, but we need you to understand that there is a process that you can do to protect yourself from you being diminished by it, right? So appreciate the gifts that you've been given as an empath, because it's very important to be able to put yourself in another person's shoes, even if it's just momentarily, so you can extend to them that compassion, that empathy for what they're going through. And it's a beautiful trait. Where would we be without empaths? You know, really feeling that. So before we get into the readings, you know, I've been teaching these classes for empaths for a long time because it's such an important thing. And I wrote a poem a long time ago. I don't even know how long ago, but it's very short. And I just like to read it to you right now. And then we're going to get into our readings and see where you guys are at. So this is my prayer for empaths. Mother, Father, God, who created me with this unique gift of sensitivity, place in me awareness of who I am, where I begin and where I leave off. Protect me from the emotional hooks that drain my energy and empower me to use my gift for good of all that I choose to serve. Help me to know when and who to help, and when I need to allow others to have their own path and experiences. Give me the means to clear and cleanse myself of the energies of others that do not serve me. Thank you for this beautiful gift of love and deep feelings that you have blessed me with, and the ability to truly help others in their time of need. Amen.
Amen. That was beautiful. Woo-wee.
And
Yeah, this
now,
is such a big topic. It's such a big topic. We can talk more and more, but we can only get so much in an hour. Plus, all right.
plus
So
we want to give readings.
yeah, let's do a few readings, and I know we have a couple of announcements at the end. By the way, let me just mention. Well, I'll do the announcements at the end. Stick around; they're important ones, and they give you some special offers. Okay, so we're going to do a few readings, and Joanna and I already tuned into this prior to even going live. We're going to tune in, and we're going to let you know, in terms of being an empath, what we're feeling on your emotional, mental, physical, or spiritual level. So when we pull a card for you today, instead of you telling us, we're going to be telling you where we're feeling. You need to kind of maybe have some awareness or whatever shows up in one of the four emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual bodies. Okay. So why don't we go ahead and just start with, actually, we need to see, I don't want to assume. So if you want a card pull, we're going to just start from now. So after Tony, where she wrote beautiful, if you want a card, just say card, please. And then we're going to just get right into this.
And Jeanette had asked for a reading in the very beginning when she came
Yeah.
on,
So why don't we start with you and Jeanette, and then people can add to it, because I don't know how we're going to get everybody in, but we'll get as many as we can in, because we're going to do a hard stop at 55, so we can get a few announcements in.
Awesome.
All right, and Jeanette. Are you going or am I going?
Are you doing Ann Jeanette?
Yeah, I'm going to do Ann Jeanette. I'm feeling
Okay.
Ann Jeanette.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, Ann Jeanette, I'm feeling this in the physical body. So let's just pull a card of what that is. Okay. I'm actually, so you got the forgiveness card, Ann Jeanette. It's our artichoke card. So I'm feeling this around the heart and physically about wanting to kind of go into some forgiveness, seeing what that is about. We talked tonight about being empathic, taking on other people's energies, and also being mindful of our own energies. But this is talking about like this physically feeling a need and a desire, and it's actually a directive to kind of maybe go into some forgiveness of self. Not a forgiveness of somebody else. This is a forgiveness of self. This is physically shifting your own energies to go into something that you have been judging yourself on, and there's a forgiveness request from spirit to allow yourself to kind of like move through it and to move out of that physical contraction into more of a pineapple expanded state. Okay, hope that helps.
Okay, well, I'm going to take Joanne. She's next in line. So, Joanne, I am, before I picked the card, I was feeling it on the mental level. And, you know, because we're doing EMPS wellness. And what do I get? I get the eggplant shadow card. So on the mental, I kind of just am feeling your mind just kind of racing and trying to make decisions and doing different, just having these thoughts racing in and out and racing in and out and not knowing what direction to go in for yourself. So there's some aspect of needing to clear some of that shadow piece that is kind of just saying, you need to look at something, put some light on, whether it's an old pattern or something that has been coming up before. It just feels like there's something that you need to look at and shine light on in the mental.
Nice. All right. Tony is next. Tony's also, I'm feeling energy around your mental body, and you got Brussels sprouts connection. Okay. So there is absolutely something not something going on, but I think it's a continuous, actually a tape recorder. It's a recording, a repetitive energy around the mental mind, the monkey mind, that's asking you really to actually find the connection, to disconnect from that. Remember, keep in mind, we're talking about being empathic tonight. So taking on other people's energies, it's about you mentally finding the connection of what is playing like a tape recorder, and I don't believe it's yours, but you are taking it on and repetitively like ruminating over it. So this is asking you to disconnect from a connection of someone else's energy that's playing havoc in your mind.
Absolutely. That's good. So next is Cheryl. And Cheryl, really feeling this in the emotional. And it is blueberries for clarity. So clearing up some emotion. And I do have to say, it feels like that emotion that comes from someone else's energies right now, like a true empath, taking things on from other people and just not fully being able to process it yet, and ground that clarity in that you need in this particular situation. So when you think about other people and what their processes, what they're going through, just understand that there's a boundary there, and that's their path, and they are going to work it out. So see that with clear vision. You know, what is yours and what is theirs.
Gorgeous. Linda Baltus, you got spiritual out of the right, emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual. Haha, this couldn't be more perfect for you. You got the play card. And it should have been the mango card, but the play fits right in there because she's playing with bringing out the spirit of joy, and she's going to be being our official spiritual recording artist as a certified reader to record our mango card. And joy is such the highest vibration. So she's playing in that field with spirit of what does spirit want me to invoke to the planet in terms of my own joy. She emanates joy. And so she not only represents joy, but she's one of those where if we are empathic, we are feeling the joy around her. And so she is a great model of that. But I want you to just realize that this play in playing with spirit is knowing that spirit isn't serious. Spirit has such a great sense of humor. Allow it to come in and bring some humor into everything that you are doing on the spiritual body and what you're bringing into the physical. Sounds like a great card for her.
I know. So here you go. There's Denise is next, and Denise, I get this on the mental as well. Transformation, right? There's something that is asking to be transformed in your life, and it has to do. I really feel like that is a mindset thing. It is definitely on the mental. And it's like, you know how you have to put on a different pair of glasses? You know, we talked yesterday about the hangman. Look at things in a different perspective, in a different light, see the bigger picture, because there's something there that is asking to be transformed. And of course, listen to the transformation meditation that I did with Lainie. It's with the card deck. So I think that might be helpful for you.
All right, Susan, Joanna, Sissy. I got for you in terms of EMPS wellness. I got M, mental, and the card you got was health. And you got look at it closely. You got the mint. So actually, your golden ticket, right? When things are like mint, like the golden mint, that mint for this is your mental health and your mental well-being right now. And this is asking you to kind of take note of where you're applying your thinking and staying in the health column of what provide. So when you're thinking something, is this creating health for me mentally? Is this detracting from me mentally? Is this supporting my mental health? Is it creating less? Am I taking on someone else's and that's affecting my mental health? I need to get rid of it because I'm empathic. Okay. So this is saying watch your mental health right now and understand your need to be protected from other people's stuff and opinions. That's what I'm getting.
Good one.
Was that a good one? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
that was a
Ooh,
good
it's your
one.
sister. I want to make sure. Just kidding.
Okay, next, this is Melissa. And Melissa, I'm feeling this on the physical. And what I get is patience for plums. And it's time to be patient with whatever is going on. I feel like that there's something that you're looking at on the physical that you are waiting for the results of something. You've been working on it and working on it and working on it and waiting for the results, and it's just right around the corner. You just need a little bit more patience. So maybe it's feeling more energized, and I'm feeling like it has to do with the energy levels on the physical and the way that you're feeling physically, right? And so it's coming. It's almost like you've plugged in, but they haven't turned on the electricity. I feel like that there's a pause in that. So just know that it's coming, and just being a little bit more patient with that, and you will be right on target, the way and feeling the way that you want to feel.
Beautiful. Karen Cavallo, I also got physical in terms of your EMPS wellness, and we've seen this one before, and it's back. So here we are looking at, I really want you to take note of this with Brussels sprouts, and we should all be taking note, right? All these are pulling up. We should all be taking note of it for all of us, whether it's your card that you got picked or not, especially when a card comes up twice and or more tonight. But the Brussels sprouts in the connection is to understand. In fact, I told somebody today, he was telling me a story about somebody who had an earache. And I immediately tuned in. I'm like, oh, it's emotional. And he says, oh, no, he's had it for a very long time. I'm like, no, there's something emotionally going on that is now manifesting as an earache. And I didn't pursue it. I just knew that there was an energy around it. Why? Maybe he didn't want to hear something. Maybe he heard something he's not willing to look at. So now the ear is getting his attention. This is the same for you. I want you to be thinking about, because this came up in your physical body, some connections of what pains or aches or repetitive issues. What is it trying to tell you? There's always a message. What is the story? It may not be overnight, but ask it. Like, I'm allowing this pain in my knee or wherever it's feeling. I don't know if there's something going on with your lower back. I just throwing that out there. But I would like you to say, allow me, Spirit, to know, unfold for me the message in this pain, or this, what I need to know, because there's a connection you need to take in your physical body around that.
Next is
everybody.
Crystal.
We have two more minutes.
Crystal would like a card. And
okay.
So Crystal, I'm feeling it's on the spiritual level. Okay. And the card that comes, well, there's no accident here, is our Black Sesame for mindfulness. I feel like that there is a spiritual, I guess, for lack of a better word, level that you would like to get to, like you'd like to feel that connection of the Brussels sprouts. You want to be able to hear your intuition or your higher self and make a connection with that. And in order to get there, there has to be some mindfulness, which means meditation or just sitting quietly or taking a walk in nature by yourself without listening to music, and just being very mindful of all of the messages that want to come through for you, because there is definitely a message in the spiritual realm that wants to get through. So whatever you use to open up those channels. Maybe it's lighting a candle and sitting quietly, or maybe it's even reading some inspirational words that resonate with you to help you to become more in tune with that higher self and source. Okay? Then that's what I'm feeling for you on the spiritual.
Beautiful. We got it all. All right. So I hope that all helped you and brought forward more clarity, more blueberry, and understanding about you as an empath and ways to support you. That's what was our goal tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to post right now a link, and if you see it in there, there it is. Woo! So we just are running a brand new campaign. You won't see these sales on our website. You will only see them when you click on this link, and they are certain bundles of specials that we're offering, and it's part of a campaign that's running on social media right now. So the only way to get these, right? Think holidays, think gifts, think friends, think for yourself. Look at these 3 different levels, but there's special offers that we put, and you can only get them on that FHOD.foodhealingoracledeck.com. Okay, so that's our special link, and you're probably seeing it on Instagram and Facebook right now. It's all over. That's the only place you can get these deals. So click on that, enjoy that, or get ready and think about that for the holidays for friends. And then, like we said, Cheryl Friedman, the amazing Cheryl Friedman, will be here next week, and our class for just like this EMPS Wellness. We're going deep, and we're really getting into the healing for you. November 14th. I'm an advanced Theta Healing certified Theta healer. She's an advanced certified Theta healer. We're readings. We're doing deep clearings of beliefs and programmings that it's just time to get rid of them. And we're going to find out where they're coming from and they're going away, whether it's in your emotional, mental, physical, spiritual body. Okay, conquering your cravings. There's an event page on there. It's on our website. In December, we're gonna have Denise Flood on in a few weeks after that, because we're doing essential oils. That's December 5th, and the Food Healing Oracle deck. And I think that brings us current. We'll be talking soon. In fact, we're going to do a whole show on our big annual retreat. Oh yes, next June. It is happening. It is live. We are all going to the Isles of Amazingness, and I think Travel and Leisure said it's one of the top 3 islands in all of South America and Mexico, but we're going to Isla Mujeres for a week. Imagine all of us. We had 1 hour tonight. Imagine a week, all of us together doing readings and healings and all sorts of classes, and we're nourishing you. We'll have our smoothie book recipes, and we're going to just be taking good care of you. So there'll be a whole show coming up, but if you want to look it up. It's the Ultimate Food Healing Oracle Deck Retreat, and we would love to see you. Limited spots. We're halfway filled. We're only taking 30. And so if you do have an interest, go check out the Facebook page for that. Thank you for being here tonight.
All of us empaths need a vacation.
Yes. After all this,
we need a vacation so bad.
And if you're in Florida, it's super quick, right? Fort Lauderdale, I think it was like an hour and a half flight into Cancun. All outdoor, pretty much all of the classes, like 99.9, yeah, I think 100% of our classes are going to be outside. And so it's all open. It's all fresh and clean air, and it's just going to be great. And anyways, more on that soon. I know some of you here are going. Some of you here are even teaching. But anyways, we have that, and we're just being mindful because soon enough, it'll be June, but right now you can start thinking about it, because if you do want one of the spots, is a $350 deposit. So that ensures that you A, get a spot, but B, also the hotel is already starting to fill. And we want to make sure you're staying at the same resort as all of us, right? El Milagro. Look it all up on Facebook. More on that soon, but you're going to have Joanna and I going deep into dives of all sorts of classes, and then a lot of great teachers are going to be there. Okay, I think that wraps it up. Tonight was awesome.
I think it does wrap it up. I just want to tell everybody thank you for being here and being empaths, the empaths that you are, because you are helping the world. So just make sure that you keep your boundaries and remember to take radical self-care of yourselves. Okay?
Yeah. All right, everyone. God bless. Be well. We hope to see you one way or other in some of our classes here next week. Let us know. And by the way, last but not least, we would be so grateful. Huge, huge, huge request. If you are loving our deck, and we think you are, please do a review on Amazon. It's just starting to ignite, and that's so exciting for us. Amazon, I think because we're starting to get reviews on there, it's starting to give us more visibility, which is turning into orders, and that allows us to create more things. So please, if you can, go on to Amazon, look up the Food Healing Oracle deck, write us a review. I'm enormously appreciative of that. So thank you.
And if you know another empath that you think this show would help, please share our show as well. So,
yeah.
Good night,
All right,
everybody.
everyone. Hour straight up. We're out. Bye.